So remember, look out that window or front door. I'll show you. This is my big window here. It's south facing in my house, and I'm about 3 feet back from it, showing a little of my neck. Snap that, send it my way, and I can help you get matched. Or we have the collections option where you create an account under the link, go to collections. There's 3 to choose from. Select your collection, and then there's a little tiny tab. I believe it's in blue with underline. Select your shade, a lot of S's there. And then you scroll through different women and their tones of skin tone, and you select that and you add to bag. There you go. So I'm going to use the Buff brush and the blush and bronzer brush today. Bada boom. I love this brush for placement. This is the Buff. This is the one they recommend for girls that like full coverage or a bolder look. I like to use it for placement, and then I like to blend with these fluffier ends of the blush and bronzer. So I'm going to use the smaller end of the Buff brush. Just if it's, it's recommended for full coverage, but that doesn't mean like, oh, because I actually prefer a light to medium coverage. So the Buff is fine for that too. So sometimes the titles of different brushes limit us. Don't let the names of the brushes or what they are intended to do limit you. So remember, 3D foundation, 3 colors, because we're emphasizing the dimension of our face. Yes, bringing what we like forward and minimizing what we're not so crazy about. So I'm going into that contour, the dark color, and I'm just dabbing in because we know a little bit goes an incredible long way. And I'm going up and under that cheekbone, or we can just go top of ear to outer corner of eye. There. I kind of got a lot over there. But a little goes a long way, so just don't forget that. You're not going to like it if you use a lot. And always aim on being higher, like this one's pretty high, than lower, because we don't want to sag our face. We want to lift. So, and it doesn't matter that they're not absolutely perfect. Another reason that this was made for everyone, because I'm not perfect, So, this is forgivable makeup. So now we're just going temple to temple, right along the hairline. Basically just emphasizing that our forehead is round. So we're kind of deepening that shadow right along the hairline. And then I'm going to use kind of the edge of the Buff and go eyebrow line down. Now I love this brush for placement of my contour and my brightening highlight because of the edge of this brush. But a lot of brushes are nice for applying color. I also really like the detail brush and the smudge. I always say if you're gonna get one, the 3D foundation brush is the way to go. I put a little contour on that lower lip line. It kind of just accentuates a pucker on that lower lip. But here we went eyebrow line down the nose, eyebrow line down the nose, and then I kind of cut it off right at the base of the nose. And then we're going right underneath that jaw. This is the last part of the contour. And I like to brush it back right away. So if I was just getting one, it's not going to be the Buff. Usually I recommend getting the 3D. But if I am thinking that I'd like a couple, then I would do the Buff and the blush and bronzer, the detail and the blush and bronzer, or the smudge and the blush and bronzer. Those are my particular suggestions, but it's kind of fun to explore. So now I'm putting a little brightening highlight in between the brows, and then we're gonna go down the nose, and I do a little bit on the tip of the nose, and then the Cupid's bow. Remember, see, I kind of used too much there. You don't need much. Don't need much at all. Little on the inner corner. And then this outer corner, I'm always red here. And I'm dark. So just kind of follow that lower lash line up. It'll kind of lift your whole eye and face right up. And then if you ever have like a little blemish, that brightening highlight totally eliminates that. So I usually recommend using a smaller brush and kind of doing it after you blend, so you don't remove that concentrated color on the blemish when you're blending. So outer corner up there, we're done with brightening highlight. Ready for my blush and bronzer brush. And I'm going in with this domed end into my main highlight color. Main highlight, our highlights and our contour and our lip and cheek make up our 3D foundation. So sometimes when we get on that website, we're looking for like a foundation color, but it's highlights is the brightening and the main. So I'm putting Sandy on my lower half of my face, just kind of stippling that in where I need it. And then I think we're ready to blend light to dark. So I just kind of swipe, but what's best for you and your beautiful skin is to stipple. So kind of pressing it in, and you're gonna get more out of it because swiping actually takes the makeup away. So if you can get in the habit of stippling, that is the preferred method. But sometimes we're in a hurry and we do what works for us. So I'm just blending out that light, the main highlight and the brightening highlight. And then I'm gonna attack the contour. So look how much brighter my under eyes are. I mean, it's just like, good morning. So now we're pushing that contour. Sorry, I actually straightened my hair today. So pushing that contour line back into the hair. Sometimes I wonder on these rainy days if that's smart or not, because if any water touches it, it'll just curl up like a little frizzy ball of curly Q. Okay, so we push that contour back into the hairline, and then we're gonna buff out these nose lines here. And by buff, I just kind of mean run your brush over. And same thing over here, just, we don't want it to be crazy dramatic line, just kind of subtly there to narrow our nose. And then we're gonna lift up and back with that cheekbone contour to really lift our whole face up. Look at that. 3D foundation gives us dimension, coverage with little to no product. Voila. Okay, let's add a lip and cheek. Let's do Sandstone. I've done her a lot lately. But look at, she's like the perfect fall color, right? That earth tone, kind of a rusty orange peachy color. I love it. Sandstone. So now I'm going to do some on my cheeks. So I like to go right on the apples of my cheeks because I have lost a lot of volume in mid-face. But if you want to continue to narrow your nose or your face, you'll want to start your blush kind of outer corner up and work your way back right above your contour line. But I like it right on the apple of my cheek. And you saw how little I used? A little tiny bit goes a long way. I think I've had my Sandstone for 1.5 years. So, and she is a color that I use pretty frequently. So they last a long time. So that's Sandstone on my lips and cheeks. A gorgeous fall color to have in your palette. Let's see, what else should we do? I'm gonna do a little bronzer because I have my blush and bronzer brush. If you're gonna get bronzer, you can get it a cheaper bundle if you do the bronzer bundle, and that's this wonderful brush with your choice of bronzer, which this one's Bella, the one I recommend the most. But if you're pretty fair, I would go with Tan Lines. That's another bronzer color. And then if you have a ton of depth in your skin tone, I would go with Heat Waves. But if you're somewhere in between there, Bella's gonna be your safety. And look how she just warms that face right up. The reason I love cream bronzers is there's no shimmer in them and they're not orange. They're just kind of that nice golden brown. So it just gives you kind of that sun-kissed glow. So that's bronzer. So good. And sandstone on the lips and cheeks. This is 3D. It is like the simplest stuff ever, and it's all in one spot, which who doesn't like that? So I always like to finish with a little vanilla dust. This is a finely packed translucent, works on all skin tones. I forgot my Perfector sponge. I recommend grabbing one of those if you're starting with cream for the first time, but I can just use this for my setting powder. And I like to go right under my eyes. I feel like it kind of blurs fine lines and wrinkles. And then I kind of like to go mid-face with it. So right around my nose and mouth. Otherwise, I like the dewy, youthful glow that this makeup just gives you. So, Saint 3D, it's made for you. And if you've ever struggled with makeup working for you, allergy-wise, or just because of your skin texture, or if you're dry or oily, you need to give this a shot. It's super, it's just really good for every type of skin. So